off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marisa Peer.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 102.3, and FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Podchaser, Amazon Music, Audible, Tiki Live, Rumble, and more. I am your host, Dr. Marissa, your hashtag positively opinionated, and thanks to April, hashtag relentlessly inspiring person who is here to make sure that you start your day at 8 a.m. every weekday morning as positively as possible. So on this show, there's no gossip, no scandal, no K-words, no Kanye talk. Used to be Kardashian talk. No K-words. K stood for Kardashians, but she's been doing some cool things, and she specifically helped one of my friends' nonprofit. So we don't say Kardashian anymore, but Kanye, another story. Because I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. And I had a great interview yesterday with the Leading Ladies podcast, and they asked, why 88%, Dr. Marissa? Why not 100% happy? Those of you who are still with me who have heard this before, because 100% happy means that you're dead. And I don't want dead people walking. We have to have some unhappiness to know what happiness is. So 88% is chosen because 8 is a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homophone for good fortune. So it is my job, it's my mission, my Happy 88 mission, to help 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So what are we doing today? We're going to start, as usual, with taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And what is that? If you're new to the show, gratitude is probably the easiest way to kickstart your day in the most positive way. That rhymed. So what I do is I do my gratitudes with you. And if you are streaming with me now, and I see people coming in, if you want to put them in the comment section or grab someone near you and say, we're going to take a bite of the gratitude sandwich and start with 8 specific gratitudes that you have to start your day. So I am grateful for that first amazing sip of coffee. There's just nothing like it in the morning. As well, I'm grateful that I got to do both cycling and the pool this morning to wake myself up and to work on my own behalf to get rid of some of that COVID-19 weight gain. And we're going to actually be talking about body issues today, for those of you who didn't read the promo. So if you have body issues, today is your day. I'm going to go to an interview that I had a couple months ago with someone who really has some solutions for people like me that have ongoing body image issues. So number 3, it's National Panda Day. So I love pandas. I used to want to have one growing up, and my parents, every birthday, they'd ask me what I wanted, and I said a panda, and they said no. So if you're on my social, I'll be posting panda videos that I got when I was in China, when I was in Washington, D.C. So that's my social media contribution to National Panda Day today. So if you're on Instagram, it's Doc Balance, and it's Dr. Marissa everywhere else. So please join me on my social media, and you'll get a lot of pandas today. That's 4. Gratitude number 5 is that I get to, my work is to help people feel better, but in the process of it, I feel better. All I need to do is open my mouth and do my spiel, and automatically I start feeling better. And I see a couple more eyeballs coming in. So if you'd like to chat with me, please go to the comment section, and I will. There's a link there too if you'd like to come into my virtual studio for this first segment. Also, gratitude number 6 is that I get to have a view of the ocean of abundance, and I'm so grateful for that. Number 7, that I've chosen to live in California, where the weather's almost always good. And that number 8, that I am hardworking. I was some of you yesterday in the interview with the leading ladies, they asked me if I weren't doing what I'm doing now in my one job, what would I be doing? And for those of you who follow me, you know that I also do beat reporting, which is another job, and I get to freelance for that. I also coach. I'm a happiness coach with programs and my best-selling book, 8 Ways to Happiness. I also am a motivational speaker because I'm so shy. Sarcasm is another service I offer. And then I also am an organizational psychologist. So I'm grateful for all of those things. I hope you start your day grateful as well. Now, your job is tonight, I'm not coming on again to tell you to do this, but the bottom of the bun is 8 specific things that you appreciate about yourself. 8 things that you appreciate about yourself. So I appreciated last night that I got one project done with my new helper on Fiverr, and I got I was nice on the freeway, even though I wanted to yell at somebody for cutting me off. I was available for my daughter when she wanted to vent. I was honest with my other daughter about something that we haven't talked about, and I came from love. I'm on number 5. I'm grateful that I have taken all the bad things that have happened to me and turned them into silver linings in a way that I can help people. That's 6. I'm grateful that I love to sing. And 8, I'm grateful that I have the discipline to wake up early so that I can still work out before the show. So those are the 8 things that I appreciate about myself. And the reason why I want to push this as a Happy 88 tool for all of you is one of the things that we don't do well is soothe ourselves. One of the things we kind of it got left out of school is how do you feel good about yourself without looking for other people's approval? Walking around with the antenna looking for people to like you or comment positively or, put you on a pedestal. So I want you to be happy 88% of the time. And I promise that if you are disciplined about taking a bite of your gratitude sandwich every single day, gratitudes in the morning and appreciations for yourself at night, you'll begin to feel better within yourself. So that's my challenge for the day. All right. So how are we doing on time? We are about to break. So when we come back, we're going to talk about body issues, and we're going to look at solutions that I got from RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy founder, Marissa Peer. So don't go away. We'll be right back on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Want delicious Vietnamese Asian fusion cuisine that is so good for your health you won't believe your taste buds? Olac is a 100% plant-based vegan restaurant founded by Mai on living foods and a love for animals that won't make you sacrifice taste for health. 2 locations to delight you, downtown LA and Fountain Valley. So go to www.olac.com, AULAC, to book your reservation today. Saving the planet has never tasted so good. Are you having a tough time feeling happy about what's going on around you? Do you want to work with someone who knows how to choose happiness no matter how fluxed up things are? Then contact Dr. Marissa, best-selling author of 8 Ways to Happiness from wherever you are. And that wherever includes the middle of a pandemic, because pain in life is mandatory, but suffering is optional. There is hope and happiness for you right now, especially now. Schedule your Zoom Get Happy session at www.drmarissa.life today. Hi, I'm Dr. Marissa. You know me as the Asian Oprah, and I'm on a happy 88 mission. 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. So I'm delighted to tell you that we are opening our phone lines again on my show. If you want some happiness coaching for questions about your relationships that are driving you crazy, or should I stay, should I go, or your health and wellness, or I hate my job, then you've come to the right place. Just call 888-909-1050 on my show. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show between 8 and 9 weekday mornings. And I'll be happy to help you up-level your happiness, because pain in life is mandatory, but suffering from it is optional. Does the news scare you in the morning? I actually take my phone and plug it in outside of my bed, because I know that when I pick it up first thing in the morning, that more often than not, what I'm swiping is not good news. Some of us have forgotten that we can actually use the most powerful tool we have, called choice, to choose whether to listen to the news or not, or where we get our news. So that's why I'm so delighted to invite you to my show, 8 a.m. every weekday morning, called Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show that focuses on hope and happiness and solutions to problems, instead of just ranting and raving about what's wrong with the world and what's wrong with people. Instead, I want you to find out what is good about you, good about the world, and good about our ability to be human kind. So please join me at 8 a.m. every weekday morning for Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listeners behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marisa Peer.
And welcome back. You are tuned into Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere, including my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. We've had a nice uptick of subscribers, and we're almost at 250,000 views. So we're hoping that by my 9-year anniversary, May 1st, 2022 will be at that mark. And you can also, when you subscribe, not only get my shows as they drop first thing in the morning, you will also access for free for my red carpet playlist. I have wonderful interviews on the red carpet with Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, Nicholas Spark, gold medal winners, Melissa Etheridge. So all of that is available on my YouTube channel. And I'm excited at the end of the show today, it is time for National Sleep Awareness Week. Did you know that 54 million Americans suffer from a sleep disorder and many are undiagnosed? So I have a specialist, Carlos Nunez, Dr. Carlos Nunez from ResMed. He explains what is and why it's important to get quality sleep and how it affects your mental and physical health. So you'll want to stay tuned for that at the end of today's show. They'll be calling in. And I promised that we would talk about body issues today. And if you've just joined and you have similar experiences, then I would love for you to comment. You can also call in at 888-909-1050, and I'll get your questions or your absolute empathy at what you are going to see now. So a couple of months ago, I got to interview someone really special. We had both shared a stage at Secret Knock. My friend, Dr. Greg Reed, runs this Yahoo Finance calls it the #1 business conference, and I met her there. They actually played her promo before me because our names are so close. But take a listen to this. And
Peer is the creator of the multi-award-winning RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy, and founder of an IamEnough.com, international best-selling author, motivational speaker, personal development expert, and leading celebrity therapist. She has over 3 decades of experience as a therapist and has been named Best British Therapist by Men's Health magazine and featured in Tatler's Guide to Britain's 250 Best Doctors. Marissa uses her experience of treating clients, including rock stars, CEOs, elite Olympic athletes, royalty, and Oscar-winning actors to inform her life-changing speeches and lectures. She has been voted best speaker at numerous conferences, including the Mastermind Group London and the Women in Business Super Conference, Awesomeness Fest 2015, and the Royal Society of Medicine in 2015 as well. Marissa launched her Rapid Transformational Therapy training program. To date, she has trained more than 10,000 students all over the world. Please welcome to my studio, Marisa Peer. So I know better. And when people say, oh, you don't look fat, or you don't look like you've gained weight, and I'll say, yeah, but that's because I know how to dress. And if I take my clothes off, you're going to run away screaming. So I know better than to say that, but I say it anyways because I love a laugh, because laughter is my favorite sound in the whole world. I also know that the expectation that I look like I did when I was modeling, did 8 years of that, and have pictures as proof that I was super skinny and I won some beauty contests, and people will see the picture in my house and say, is that you? And I'll, want to kill them because it makes me feel bad. So I feel like I should take those off. I still remember when I was, I had my divorce diet. I lost 40 pounds in 6 months because I just stopped eating. And I know that I looked too gaunt and not good, but in my head, I remember looking down at all the bones sticking out and wearing a size 20 True Religion jean and saying, I look so good. And I know in my head that there's something messed up. So help me.
It's so sad for women that our self-esteem is linked to what we look like. What do you weigh? What size are you? And these numbers, what is the number on your birth certificate? What's the number on the scales? What's the number in your clothes? What's the number in your bank account? What's the number of followers you have? And we're getting so consumed with the numbers. And that's the wrong question. We're judging ourselves by, if I'm thinner, you will like me more. If I'm not thinner, I might look like someone who's out of control. And the problem with weight, and it's so unfair, is that, you know, you could have a problem with spending, you could have a problem with prescription medication, but nobody knows. But when you walk through the world carrying excess weight, people judge you, oh, look at that person, they're weak. They don't have any control. And it's just wrong, because this whole, you know, dieting has only become a problem since the media started to promote these images of super skinny women who've got, you know, fat hair and tiny thighs. And we go, well, but I've got fat thighs and tiny hair, so clearly I'm getting it all terribly wrong. And the question shouldn't be, I feel better when I'm thin, but why do I feel better when I'm thin? Because I believe that society likes me more thin. And you have to go, you know, I like myself, because my biggest challenge with all of this is that it's all about abuse. I'm going to do a punishing workout today. I'm going to do the plank, 600 sit-ups, run in the rain. Then I'm going to punish my body. I'm going to deprive it of everything, celery juice and a bit of cottage cheese. And the whole dieting industry is based on abuse. Hate my body, punish my body, deprive myself of what I like. And they go, oh, I've been good today. I didn't eat. I've been bad today. I had cake. And the only way to have a body you love is to start with loving the body you have. Love your body so much. You think, I'm not putting donuts in my body. That's abusive. I'm not going to start the day with Pop-Tarts and Diet Coke because it's abusive. We'll say, but I love food. You know, I love cake and pizza and beer, but that's not love. That's abuse. So whatever you're doing, is that abusive or is that kind? Is that abusive or is that love? And I've seen in my 34 years as a therapist, when I can get a client to love their body, because if you had a baby, you wouldn't think, I'm going to give this baby a can of Coke and a packet of Pringles for breakfast because they're so yummy. You think, oh no, this little baby is so pure and they need organic broccoli and some really healthy food. And the more you can love who you are, the more you start to treat your body with love and respect. And when you just do one loving thing for your body, it starts to do incredibly loving things for you. And that's a little complicated because it means you've got to unravel this whole let me starve myself, let me be good, let me be slim. Slim is good, fat is bad, cake is terrible. And of course, you know, you have to understand your psyche and human psychology, which means that we want what we can't have. The minute you go, I can't have cake, you want cake. You know, many years ago, I was doing an anti-yeast diet and I was in Spain. And I couldn't have any form of sugar at all. So in the morning, I could have a huge steak and I could have a coffee made entirely with almond milk and even cream. But all I wanted was a fresh peach and some berries. I wanted juicy stuff so badly. And I could have eaten tons of steak and fish and cream, but I didn't want that. I wanted what I couldn't have. And so instead of saying, I can't have it, which makes you want it more, you have to say the magic words, which really work. I have chosen to be super healthy, and I've chosen to have berries instead of cake, but I've chosen to love that, because when you go, I can't have cake, your mind goes, but you want it. So let me ramp up the desire. So you have so much cake and more cake because it's so forbidden. When you go, hey, I can have cake. I've got 70 years to eat cake. When I'm 95, I'm going to eat loads of cake right now. I'm choosing to be healthy. I'm choosing to treat my body with love, and I'm choosing to feel great. And for me, that was a game changer, to look at chocolate and go, you know, I can eat that. I've got 70 years to eat that, but I'm choosing to treat my body with respect. And when I'm 95, I may knock myself out with chocolate, but right now, I'm choosing to feel great about saying I actually prefer berries, or I prefer an apple with some almond butter on it. And I couldn't keep chocolate in my house. I couldn't even keep marmalade or honey in my house because it controlled me. And then I began to say, no, I control me. I'm not controlled by cookies or ice cream and all the stuff I couldn't keep in my house. And I can keep in my house because the opposite of love is not hate. It is complete and utter indifference. So I really invite you to start saying, wow, I love my body.
Problem though, Marissa, is as soon as I say I look in the mirror and I go, I love my body, and it's a huge BS. You know, it's like, come on, you cannot, it's not possible. Look at these roles, look at the evidence of not working out, and it's, I know it's affecting. I don't feel like dating. I don't feel like, because I'm afraid. I actually had a guy, one of my past guests, and I told him, you know, and he's a bodybuilder and he looks fabulous. And I told him, I said, I could never date. He asked if I was single. I said, I could not date you because I would be so body insecure. And his response was, we can keep the lights low. And I was like insulted because I'm like, wow, I didn't think that was going to be a solution. But anyways, go ahead.
Yes, you know, because you're coming up against years and years of condition. You wake up and the first thing you go is, oh, look at the thighs, look at the stomach, look at this. And of course, whatever you look for, you will find. Whatever you focus on, you get more of. And it's very important to not do that. You know, I had cancer several years ago, and I swore that when I survived it, I would never, ever berate my body. I made a deal. If you get through this and keep me alive, then I will never criticize you or go, oh no, you know, the arms need a bit of toning, the stomach's not what it was, the butts, that's not really peachy anymore. I'd just be so grateful that I had a body. And that's really worked for me, but you don't have to get to that level. You've got to imagine if your best friend woke up naked, you went, oh my God, look at your thighs. Oh my God, you need to go to the gym. Wow, you need to work out. You look awful. You would never say that to your friend because they'd probably burst into tears and go, hey, you know what? I don't want a friendship with you anymore. So you've got to speak to yourself the way you speak to your friend. If you look in the mirror and start saying something like, gosh, my eyes, aren't they nice and shiny? I got lovely hair. I'm a kind person, because you're seeing yourself through a lens of what's wrong with you. And of course, when you look for what's wrong with you, guess what? You will find so much of it. When you look for what's right with you, you'll find that too. And I was with one of my friends saying, when I met my wife, he said she was walking in front of me, said, and her thighs were rubbing together. So it was the sexiest thing I'd ever seen in my life. And I was mesmerized by these thighs almost sparking. And she had a big butt. And I just thought, I got to have that woman. They've been married for 35 years. Because, you know, one man's meat is another man's poison. People say, no, I love a little roll of flesh over the top of stockings. I find that so sexy. Look at Marilyn Monroe, Beyonce. The women that we find super hot are not skinny. Men don't really men like the opposite of what a man is. A man is straight and muscular. Men love this, the curve, the waist, the hips, everything you see on a wine bottle. It's also the curve here that goes from your neck to your shoulder. If you're heterosexual, men they don't want a woman with a six-pack and muscular thighs and no breasts. That isn't appealing. They want the opposite of them. And we want the opposite of us. I wouldn't want to date a guy who was curvy and soft eyes and breasts. I go, oh, no, actually, no. Because we're hardwired to go for the opposite. So you've got to love who you are. And I get it that you wake up and go, no, look what's wrong with me. But you've got to start looking for what is right with you. And remember that what you focus on, you'll get more of. So the minute you focus on, oh no, you'll get more of it. And you have to focus on what's good, because you're training your mind to go into a state of appreciation. I'm so lucky to have this body. My body is someone else's fantasy dream come true.
I will try to remember that. We're going to have to take a quick break for the sports.
You can get rid of the bugs so you feel shiny and fast and better. So we should all upgrade our thinking. So many of our thoughts come from your mother saying that. My mother used to say to me, you'll never amount to anything. My father used to tell me I wasn't smart. And I always felt like a hideous freak when I was growing up. But then one day I realized, that's my mother's story. They wanted a different kid. But it's not my story. I was meant to be me. I was meant to be here. So don't make someone else's story your story. Any mother that would tell you what she told you is feeling inadequate. Any husband that would introduce you as a beast is inadequate, because an inadequate person needs to make other people inadequate just to feel equal. Superior people praise, and people who feel inferior criticize. So if you're around a critic, and especially if you're married to one, I'm very glad he's your husband now, is to go, wow, you don't feel good about yourself. I have people occasionally, not many, who will troll me and go, oh, I hate the way you talk. I hate the way you dress. I go, oh, that's fine. I wasn't dressing to please you. And the way I talk is the way I talk. But I understand that no one wakes up and goes, well, my life is so amazing. Who can I diminish today? Let me do some trolling. People who do that are deeply unhappy. Happy people praise. They're benevolent. They go, well, darling, I'm sorry your husband left you, but he was an idiot. You were the better one. I'm sorry you had a critical mother, but you had an unhappy mother. That's nothing to do with who you are. Mm-hmm. And one of the best ways to change your life on a dime, do not let in destructive criticism. Go, oh, you're having a bad day. Thanks for sharing. I hear you saying that I've got a horrible voice and I look awful, but I don't have to. I'm choosing not to let them, because here's the choice again. You could say something devastating to me and I could choose to not let it in, or to be really upset, because here's the choice we have every day. Rationalize why we feel awful or talk ourselves out of it. I look back at my family, as crazy as it was, and I'm glad, because it gave me that, I'll show you. You think I'm an idiot and a freak and not pretty and not smart. I will show you. And I'm actually glad, because it gave me that drive to be someone, do something. And also it made me understand how when a child is criticized by their parent a lot, the child doesn't stop loving the parent. They immediately stop loving themselves. And that's what I did. And I have so much understanding for people who came from critical parents, because it's so familiar now. And one of the things about the mind that's deeply vexing but true is that we want to go back to what we know. Your mind wants to go back to what's familiar and to run away from what's unfamiliar. If you don't get praise, guess what? When someone criticizes you, go, what do you want? That's not true. You look amazing. No, actually, I'm really fat inside this dress. And anyway, it's got a hole in it. And I haven't even shaved my legs. I look terrible. So what you're doing is you're going back to what's familiar. You're rejecting praise. And even worse, you're adding in criticism. And if you want to change your life today, do one thing. Praise yourself a lot and do not let in criticism, because although the mind will go back to what's familiar, that's a fact. Here's another one. You can make anything you like familiar. The best way to raise your self-esteem is to praise yourself a lot, and that will get you off this dieting, starving, going to the gym mentality, because you're living in praise and not hating yourself and criticizing yourself.
Mm-hmm. Wise words. I will say that I am a lot better than I used to be, and my own healing journey. And one of my questions for you was, did you come about this yourself through personal experience, which you already answered? I thought when you started with your father being a very, I can't remember how you described him. I thought, oh, she's, how is she knowledgeable about not being enough if he was so affirming? But you just shared that you had the experience that the majority of us do. That is part of my, our mutual friend, Michael Bernard Beckwith, my big brother. He's the one who actually introduced me to Oprah as the Asian Oprah, in case you wondered where that came from. But he's a great, when I get negative press or negative, any kind of insulting, if I'm on the news and somebody says, who do you think you are? I'll text him and he'll say, vent and let it go. because it's not true. He's the one who believed in me before I could believe in myself. So I hear that message. 88% of the time I take it to heart. 12% of the time when I wake up getting a fat and ugly attack, then I need the reminder.
Ugly attack, that's coming from you. There is nothing on the planet, nothing that will build your self-esteem like your own praise. So it's a habit. You got to wake up and go, I'm a good person.
Yes,
I matter. I'm kind. You know, the size of my legs is not what defines me. It's the size of my heart. You know, you'd never look, if you look at your friend, you go, yeah, I don't like that friend because she's got cellulite. And I don't like that friend because her arms are a bit saggy. And I really don't like that one because she doesn't have a flat stomach. Our friends come in all shapes and sizes, and we love them because we love who they are. And you've got to be your own best friend and realize that that voice comes from you, and you have the power to stop that voice and it's like a radio with two speakers to go, you know what? Yeah, I'm not a perfect 10, but if that made you happy, what's going on with all these supermodels that are miserable? What's happening with all these people that are falling apart with perfect bodies? Many years ago, some Victoria's Secret models came to my office, and they came in their Victoria's Secret, and my neighbors go, wow, what's wrong with them? I mean, they're perfect. I'm like, no. They're not perfect, because when you're a model, you feel that pressure to look perfect, and they don't have the one thing that would make them happy, which is the enoughness. In fact, being a model is being judged like being an actress all the time. You're in a taxi with a meter running. And many people say, God, I'm so glad I'm out of that. My daughter was asked to model. She walked a runway and I said, Mommy, I hated every minute of it. I will never do that again as long as I live. I thought everyone was judging me, and I don't want to do that. And she never did it again. And I was very pleased for her that she didn't like it. She didn't go, oh, how lovely. My self-esteem is being fed by the audience. She didn't like being in a place where they were assessing her, because the most important opinion is your opinion. If you think you look great and you are great, you don't have to look perfect. And even if you could pull that off, you can't keep that. Eventually things sag and bag, no matter how slim you are. Eventually your butt gets crepey, your knees get crepey. And what do? You go, you know, well, I'm aging, and it's better than the alternative. I'm so glad I'm here. So,
do you always practice what you teach?
Almost always. I remember Maya Angelou saying people will not remember what you did or say, but they remember how you made them feel. But what she could have said too is, you remember how you made you feel. So I do it most of the time. I have off days, of course I do, but you don't have to do it all the time. You have to do it 80% of the time is the same as 100%. I don't work out every day. I don't have a really clean, healthy diet every day, but I do it enough. But the one thing I do every day is run my thinking. Because I know I can choose. I can choose to be negative or positive. I can choose to go, oh my God, look at me. It's all going south. I can choose that. But I can't choose what it does to my mind and body. So I believe negative thoughts are a luxury I can't afford. So I do all the time revert back to thinking positive. The great thing about being positive is that you wire it in and fire it in until very quickly it stops being what you do, and it actually becomes who you are. I was on a plane on Christmas Eve. My husband said, you know, I marvel at your ability to not let in stress. I said, but it's a choice. It's not, it's a choice. I don't go, oh my God, this is killing me. I'm stressed out of my mind. I'm at the end of my rope. I go, well, it's a challenge, you know, I'm fine. I can deal with it. So it really is a choice to be positive or negative. You can choose, but you can't choose what it does to your body when you're negative. And if you saw what it did, you would never do it, because if you could look inside your body and see the cortisol you're creating, the stress hormones you're making, the inflammation you're creating by being negative, you would stop immediately. And that's why I stopped.
Great. Now, I have to ask, how long have you been married? And he sounds like a wonderful guy, the way you just lit up a little when you mentioned him.
He is my love. I've been married for 12 years, and I had to do something myself, which was, you know, we talked about my dad, and my dad was a wonderful man, but he was paid to be involved in other people's children. That was his job. He was dedicated. And so I always felt he was more interested in other people than me. And if we should take a guess at what kind of men I went for, people like my dad, busy, preoccupied, because I had a belief, you got to earn love, work for love, prove you're lovable. That's the word, prove it. And I was always trying to prove to my dad that I was worthy of his attention. I didn't get it that much. And I had to really have a long, hard look at myself one day and say, you know, this is familiar. And people say, oh, I met this guy and he was too good for me. That's not true. What you're saying is I met someone whose behavior was so unfamiliar. I ran back to the cheater and the cold person that I know, the indifferent person who's like my dad. Well, you're not supposed to date your dad. So I had to begin to say something that changed my life. I am going to make a great guy who adores me familiar. And the ones I go to work for their love, that's going to be unfamiliar. It was a choice I made, and I had to repeat that over and over. Never go, I'll do that if it kills me. I just began to say, I'm making someone who puts me first familiar. And I said it, not for that long, actually. And then I made a point of really getting away.
How long?
Maybe 6 weeks. It started
really? Okay, I could do that.
doing a television show. And my old type, compelling, dangerous, mysterious, it turned up, began to talk to me, and I said, I'm so sorry, I've got to make a phone call. And I just left, because I didn't just say it, I had to put it into action. This person has danger written all over his head. There's no pleasure there. And then I met my husband, who really wasn't my type, but he was funny and kind and fascinating. And I knew I could have a great life with him. And I began to go, yeah, I'm making this familiar. We were married in 10 months and we're more happy all the time. It occasionally I look at him and think, you're annoying me today. But then I imagine my life without him, and I'm always glad I'm with him. And when I married him, we both made a decision. We will never go. If you do that, I'm leaving. If you say that, I'm off. We never, ever threaten our relationship, because that's such a silly, dangerous game to play. And I do feel very grateful for him. I know he feels very grateful for me. And I feel very lucky to have him, because he is immensely supportive. And when I created my therapy business, I'm so lucky, because I'm a therapist. He's a genius marketer. So together we became a perfect storm. We created this amazing business. He's so supportive of all my books. And I'm writing, he knows, listen, I'm locked away somewhere writing, and he totally gets that. And it's amazing. You know, I focus on what would make me happy, which isn't a six-pack or someone gorgeous, because I want a millionaire, but they're often very busy. They're often flying around the world, and they don't always spend their money on you anyway. So be careful what you want. I wanted someone kind, funny, interesting, fascinating, a family man who would put me first, and he ticks all the boxes. I should have also asked for someone incredibly tidy. But then, you know, doesn't matter. I can pay for someone to do that bit. That's the bit he doesn't do. I'm very tidy. He's very messy. But you know what? Pick your battles. It's easier to just pick up the tea bags and throw them in the bin than have a big deal about them. And we have a little conversation that goes really well. When I wanted to, I say, hey, how can I be a better wife to you? And I go, well, don't walk ahead of me at the airport. Put your phone down when I'm talking to you. When I said, okay, that's great. I'm going to do that. And now I'm going to tell you how you can be a better husband for me. So we have a very clever way of telling each other what we want. We do the sandwich. You're great. I love you. But if you could only just take these 6 cups out of your office and bring them downstairs, that would be amazing. But I still love you anyway. You know, in a marriage, the things people fight about the most, amazingly, are money and chores. It's so weird that even people with a lot of money fight about that. So I'm a great believer in picking your battles. But the other thing we do, which is very like me, was as I'm telling myself a story. We were driving in the car one day. I was chatting away, didn't listen. I'm like, oh, I'm telling myself a story here that you're not interested in what I have to say. And he said, I'm really sorry. I've just got a text from our accountant saying someone's hacked into our bank account. I'm telling myself a story that you're not letting me have my time to do this. And I go, okay. So we do that a lot. I'm telling myself. But I told that story, and someone wrote me, good, well, your husband was cheating on you, by the way, because banks don't write in and say you're hacked. Oh, no, that's another story. Because, in fact, it was our accountant that was texting him to say, wherever you are, pull over and shut down all your accounts, change your passwords. But we all tell ourselves the story. My husband forgot my birthday, doesn't love me. My kid is so rude, they don't respect me. I said that to my daughter, Mummy, all my friends swear every other word. It doesn't mean I don't respect you. It just means that's what I do. You're being moody. You don't respect me. No, I'm being moody because I'm having a bad day. I got my period. And so even with her, we do the story. I'm telling myself a story. I've come to meet you for lunch and you're being a real pain. But I'm telling myself a story. I'm trying to process that someone's upset me and you're expecting me to be happy and smiley. And so the story,
I call it going to MSU University, making shiitake up. So drop out of MSU University. And we're just running out of time. So I want to ask you two things. One is, where do we get the new book and the name of it? There we go. Beautiful. Tell yourself a better lie.
To get it is on Amazon, but you can get it in Barnes and Noble. You can get it everywhere. But I always go to Amazon because you get it the next day. And it comes with, one of the downloads is how to install your own cheerleader. Cheers for you, believes in you. Would never say, look at your eyes. Go, look at your heart, look at your soul, look at your smile. So you get it everywhere. And it's beautiful. Got 10 stories of people I've worked with that have changed their life. But the thing I love about it the most is it has something in it called RTT for me. And it shows you how to do some powerful therapy techniques on yourself at home. It doesn't take the place of being a therapist, but it shows you, hey, you can do this, you can say this, you can listen to that. So it gives you some amazing techniques to do at home that really can be life-changing, but also they're very, very simple, because sometimes simple is the best thing.
Beautiful. And I'm going to put you on the spot. Can I have one copy as an Asian Oprah giveaway? So first person that goes to drmarissa.life and puts down Marisa Peer, not Marissa Pay, Marisa Peer, will get a free Asian Oprah giveaway copy of her book. Yes, that would be
sign it too, of course.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Thank you. And then the last question I ask all of my guests is, to who or what are you most grateful for? To who or what are you most grateful for?
I think I'm most grateful for my grandmother, because she was the only person that appeared to love me. But then I learned something, Angela, you only need one person. I had one person who believed in me. When I became a therapist, I realized that for many distraught teenagers, I was the one person who believed in them. And I'd say, I believe in you. You're going to be amazing. And there are many people out there, many lost kids, and we can be the one person. See, my father was the teacher who believed in lost children. And I became the therapist who believed in lost children. And sometimes you only need one person. There's someone in the world you can be that one person too. So that's been so important for me, to always think about someone else and maybe just give someone a smile or help them out, or if they're struggling to get money and me to do it for them. If they can't do something, just step up. And my husband finds it really, I think, annoying. I'm like Mary Poppins. My bag always has almonds in it and a book and my little I'm Enough bracelets. And I'm always giving them away. If I see someone on a plane, I go, oh, hey, have this bracelet. Do you want this snack? Here's a book. But I think if you can always think of what could I do today to make someone's life better, it sounds a bit Pollyanna, I know, but just having, I've been on airplanes with screaming kids. You go, oh, hey, I've got these little granola bars in my bag. I think it's just, you can make someone else's day so much better with the simplest thing. And it doesn't mean you're a bit nauseating. It just means that when you give, you receive. If you give something to someone else, you just feel so much better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marisa Peer. It's been so lovely having you. I sign out with this little thing here, if you wouldn't mind doing it with me. It's peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from her loving room during the pandemic, wishing you the happiest of New Year's this 2022. Please practice all of those wonderful tidbits and processes that I've learned from Marisa Peer to start the new year knowing that you are good enough, because It's time for us to all go forth and multiply the goodness that we are. And remember, have the best day ever. And welcome back. Hopefully, I had myself muted there in the background. Oh, she is so brilliant, and her name is so close to mine. Marissa Peer. I hope you enjoyed her spotlight interview today on Throwback Thursday. It is truly, I think it was a brainchild of mine, that inspiration that came during meditation one day to reach back into my show treasure chest, because there's just so much there after 13 years and 462 consecutive days. I am truly, not weeks, not days. I'm truly grateful for that, because, they said that I wouldn't last more than a year, because I don't talk about the headlines at all, just the heart lines. But instead, it has been 13 years and 684 consecutive weeks. I got that right that time. But let's see. Actually, I picked the wrong spotlight interview version. I switched over, figured it out in the last second. So we did the gratitude sandwich at the beginning already of that interview that happened during the pandemic. Man, I don't know about you. We'll just do a gratitude that we're not in the pandemic anymore, that we did come out of that. And I use the pandemic as something that is kind of like what we're going through now, or anything that doesn't look like it has an end, or it is something you didn't expect and you don't like, that this too shall pass. So if you are getting upset about the headlines, all the stuff that's going down right now in LA, we're not talking about the headlines, but I'm just saying that you know what I'm talking about, that the best thing to do is not say what's wrong with people. I hate the government, or I hate what's going on. And you talk to more people, but you hate this and you hate that and you hate this. You're just hurting yourself because you're complaining about something that you cannot change. I would recommend that you take that breath in through the nose and release through the mouth, and say, this too shall pass. And the best thing that you can do is look for the good. Look for something that makes you feel better. Look for something that you can make an impact on in a positive way. Marissa Peer just talked about do something nice every day. Instead of random acts of kindness, make them frequent acts of kindness, at least daily acts of kindness. And so what I'm going to do right now is, for those, I see the eyeballs in, I'm going to tell you that you're loving, lovable, and loved, that you're wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness, that whatever you're going through, if you don't like it, don't focus on it. Stop looking at people you don't like, and then they won't trigger you. Art of neglect. And then ask every morning, what am I grateful for? And that's part of the gratitude sandwich exercise. We did it at the top of the show. I'll end with a couple of gratitudes so that we are anchoring it. And remember, at night before you go to bed, what are you grateful for about yourself, so that you can fall asleep and not keep yourself up with all the things that you didn't do, or that you that happened to you that you didn't like. So I'll end with, I am grateful for the fabulous people that I've had on this show, continue to have on this show, and continue to bring you this show every weekday morning. And grateful that I get messages every day, and I so appreciate all of the support, continued support for my ability to splatter more hope and happiness, be on my Happy 88 mission that is going on tour again. I leave for Canada at the end of the month for a month, and then Africa and Hawaii and Taiwan and Shanghai until next year. So I'm truly grateful for that opportunity. And I will be speaking in Canada. So if you're in the Toronto area and would like to have me come to your organization to do a little happiness chat, or if you're connected to any media there, please do message me, and I would love to connect. And I have the Happy 88 advocacy program. So if you do get me a gig that is has some money energy with it, you get a 20% appreciation fee. So y'all know me and you know what I do. So you can be my ambassadors for my Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And that is it for another scintillating or at least comforting episode of Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa here on KZAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thank you very much. Tomorrow, Straight Talk with James Hawthorne. He's a trainer, actor, co-founder of a great film festival. That's how I met him. And now he's been my co-host. We're talking about death and healing. My mom passed 2 weeks ago today. And James informed me that one of his best friends also died in a car accident, I believe it was. So we're going to talk about continue. I live my life out loud as I go through the grief and mourning process, and also have some comforting words for anyone else going through that there is a way through grief that does not end with you completely losing the knowing of who you are and what life's about. So that's what we're covering tomorrow on Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and James Hawthorne. Now, remember, it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. I'll see you tomorrow.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa.